Good morning, beautiful people. I trust that you are all well. Wow, what an amazing week of weather we've had. The weekend has been absolutely amazing, as you can tell. Still out in summer clothes. Ooh, enjoying myself, let me tell you. Well, I trust that you're all well. And like I said, that you've had an absolutely cracking week. I have. Yeah, so we are back to Let's Talk Tuesday. This week's topic is what to do when life throws you lemons. When all you get served up is lemons. So yeah, I just thought I'd talk a little bit about some of the moments in my life that have made me feel like, oh no, this is it, woe is me. Life can't get any worse than this, or I can't see that I'll ever be happy again, or whatever it might be that makes you a little sad or just brings you that horrible feeling inside. Um, yeah, I just thought I'd talk a little bit about those moments in my life. There have been a few. There's nobody I think, who can go through life and never having felt any little bit of sadness or any bit of disappointment or gone through something that's made you like think like, what the heck just happened? Those moments. Those moments. One of the more recent ones that I can remember is that when we came to England, and I was working for a construction company, and they decided that they were going to relocate from where we live in Manchester to, I think it was Yeovil, down south somewhere. Anyways, they decided they were relocating, so clearly they had to make people redundant. And I was one of those. There weren't many people who were able to relocate and take their entire families, uproot their whole entire families, their whole lives, and move to another town to follow this company. Anyways, I was one of those people. And it was my first time experiencing redundancy. And even though I hadn't done anything wrong with my job, my work, my performance, I hadn't done anything wrong, but I got dished up this on a plate. And I took it personally. I struggled with it because, one, it was the first time I'd ever experienced it. It was the first time I'd ever experienced it. And with it came emotions of rejection, and it took ages for me to process the fact that it wasn't as deep as I'd made it, but in order for me to get to that point of realizing, well, you haven't done anything wrong. They're not rejecting you as in you the person or the character. It's just that the business is going down a different route. So I struggled to not take it personally. And I can remember it being a very difficult and dark time for me. And Derek, I think, didn't know how to help me or what to say to help me to get me out of it. And I can remember him saying, phone your mom, phone your sisters, phone your mother. I think he felt that he had put as much as he could into it, but he still couldn't bring me out of it. And he desperately wanted me to be out of it, he wanted me to come out of there feeling all those emotions which were not positive feelings for me, they were negative feelings. And he wanted to snap me out of it, but it took a while. And it's like that with a lot of things in life. Sometimes you need the time to process it. Sometimes you need the time to go through them to realize, well, it's not me. I didn't do anything wrong in this situation, but that's what I've been given. I've not been dished up a bowl of oranges. It's been a bowl of sour lemons. But yeah, I made it through. Got another job, and move on. And when I look back now, I think I did make it through. But at that time, when you're going through something, you don't think you're going to make it through. You feel like you are stuck. You feel like you're boxed in. You feel like there's no light at the end of that tunnel. But there is. There is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Even if we can't see it, because there's a curve in the tunnel. there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And just to remind you all that no matter what you're going through right now, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, you know. And I think relationships are ones that can be quite difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel for some. You know, relationships, whether it be a friendship breaking up, whether it be a marriage breaking up, whether it be, I don't know, siblings falling out, whatever it might be. I think relationships are difficult and they're a hard one to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But, you know, there is light at the end of that tunnel, let me tell you. I went to a boarding school, and when I went to that boarding school, I wasn't always in the boarding school. I was a day scholar, which meant that I went home at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I went back to my parents' home. But when my parents moved to Victoria Falls, I then had to become a boarder, which meant I was in a hostel, a girls' hostel. But so the dynamics changed in the relationships that I had with people outside of, you know, the people I had out, relationships I had with people that I grew up with in the neighborhood, to now the people that I was with in the hostel. So what happened was that the girls that were that were day scholars, as we used to call them, they would go home, and whatever conversations they would have out there, I wasn't privy, but I wasn't part of. I didn't know what they would be talking about. But they would then come to school the next day and they'd be acting odd with me. You know, like they wouldn't be talking to me, and I'd be, because we had an assembly every week, every day. Sorry, you know, to get your day started, and you'd all meet up at the assembly outside, chatting in little groups, and I'm like, oh, what's happening? People aren't talking to me the same, but because I've not been out there with them, I don't know what conversations have happened out there. Anyways, it brought an element of sadness, and this went on for a long time, where I'd go to school and people were talking to me. Then the next day you go, they're not talking to you. And it went on and on and on. Finally, the matron at the hostel sat me down and she said to me, you need to pick one friend. You need to pick a single friend here in the hostel and just have that relationship with that one friend. You don't need a multitude of all these friends, especially if they are bringing heartache with them. Pick your friend and stick to that friend. And I did. I took her advice. I picked my friend. And my friend was Sharon. And Sharon and I became very close. We did our last year of high school together, you know, our exams, which was the most important times, you know, knuckling down, reading books, getting through those exams. We did that together. We did that stressful time in our lives together, Sharon and I. And yes, I had to cut the others loose. It was a hard decision at the time, because you feel like, well, I've known these people all my life. What's happening? But if they are bringing you heartache at that time, at that season that you find yourself in, it's okay to pick one and just invest in that one person. You know, get that person to be on the same page with you. You know, the person is wanting the same things with you at that time. Yeah, so that was a bit hard at that time, but I made it through. Sharon and I made it through. We made it through. We became good friends, and that's what happens in life, sadly. But we've got to be able to dust ourselves off and continue and continue. Yeah, there's been many moments in my life where they've been like that. One other one was, I can remember, you know, you see a boy in school and you're smitten by him, you like him, and you know he likes you back, and everything seems nice, and you know, whatever you're between, holding hands, whatever you're between at that age. There weren't many boys in my life, but you know, so I remember moments like that where you think, oh, this is a good one, you know, we were getting on all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden things change. All of a sudden you're not as close. All of a sudden, oh, maybe it doesn't like you as much. And I can remember, right, my mother saying to me, why do you keep playing that sad song over and over again? Because I'd be heartbroken by this boy who knows where he is now. But at that time, I felt like life is not worth living without him. You know, puppy love, but you felt like life is not worth living without this boy, singing that song over and over. Then sometimes I would write sad poems or make up my own songs. Sad songs, people. Sad songs. But at that time, I felt like my whole world was crumbling around me. But it wasn't. There was light at the end of that tunnel. You know, there was something for me to look forward to. There was a bend in the road, but beyond that bend, there was light at the end of that tunnel. So yeah, when I look back now, I can't remember who they were. I can't remember what happened. But clearly, at that time, I was heartbroken. Oh no, I've moved on from that, and you do move on. So even when you are going through that storm, and those dark clouds surround you, and you cannot see beyond them, you cannot see through them, let me reassure you, there is light beyond them clouds. There is abundant light. There's a new life. There's a new chapter beyond them dark clouds. So ride the storm through. Whatever that storm is that you are going through today, ride that storm through, because there's sunshine coming. Let me tell you, there's good times coming. God is faithful. God is true. He brings us through the darkest moments in our lives, moments when we feel like there is no way I can get through this. God carries you through. God is faithful and God is true. Go down on your knees, pray to Him, ask Him to give you the strength, what you need to get through the next chapter. Ask God to give you that. Yeah, so me, I've got many stories from school, let me tell you, a lot of stories, but one that I will leave you with will make you laugh a little, because we need to lift this up a little bit. I was a day scholar, so before I became a boarder, I was a day scholar. Anyways, don't ask me what happened, don't ask me how it happened, but one day I got that message, and they used to write little notes in class. I got that note that said, Mary, meet me at the bottom of the field after school. Yo! So you knew it was some sort of a fight, right? And you're thinking to yourself, oh, what did I do to her? What happened? Did I say something to her? No, you can't concentrate on that last lesson, right? Because you know after that last lesson, you are going to the bottom of the field. In this case, it wasn't even the bottom of the field. It was, we left our high school and went to the junior school, where we were all at junior school. And in the back of this junior school, there was this meetup. Get there, I don't know what's gone on. But anyways, clearly did something wrong that warranted this fight. So there we are, both of us stood in front of each other, discussing this conversation, and there was a group of others there saying, yeah, we need to fight. You need to fight it out. You need to fight it out. Like, what the heck are we fighting about? I don't know if she knew, because I clearly didn't know. Clearly didn't know what it was. I only ever had one fight, people. One fight, and that was enough for me, let me tell you. I don't think you need more than one fight in your life. Anyways, we're about 13 years old. Next thing I knew, somebody pushed us against each other, because we clearly were both not up to fighting with each other. Next thing, somebody pushed us together, and we were at it, man. It was the most bizarre moment of my life. I've not had many of those, but that one was. It may have lasted a minute, I don't know, but I remember having a scratch on my neck, right? And as I left this place after this fight, I wasn't worried so much about the fight anymore, but I was petrified to say, yo! When mommy sees that scratch on my neck, she's gonna say, what happened? Where were you? How did you get that scratch on your neck? That's what I was more worried about. I wasn't even worried about that silly fight anymore, which happened till today. I still don't know what it was about. But I was more worried about what my mom gonna think about these scratches on my neck now. So yo, I've been through some funny places, yeah. No more fighting. Those days are gone. But yeah, I can tell you a tale or two about school. I'm gonna leave you on that note, because clearly I can't stop laughing now. So whatever you're going through, please remember, laugh. Please laugh. Laugh. Life's too short not to. Laughter gets me through a lot of things. Good times, bad times, as you can clearly see. No matter what it is, laugh. Life's too short not to. Ah, on that note, people, I'm off. See you next week. Love you all. Mwah. Bye.